يا الله يا رب العالمين يا رحمن يا رحيم يا ربي let the ummah rise again يا الله يا رب العالمين يا رحمن يا رحيم يا ربي let the ummah rise again. Let us see daylight again once again. Let's become whole again.
He's currently a senior lecturer in engineering at the Federal University of Technology, MENA. So brothers and sisters, I present to you my brother, your brother, inshallah, a professor to be, Dr. Musa Aibinu.
Yeah, this is what the future is looking like. Just look at it. Yeah. It's a robot, it's actually playing. Hope you are all seeing this. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You can see what the future is looking like. Very soon, lots of things like this will be coming up. So, Muslims and the future of education in Nigeria. Muslims and the future of education in Nigeria. So, this is what is going to be the content, introduction, history of education, and then the future of education. Just some minutes ago, I have shown us what the future is looking like. What are the things we are going to be seeing in the next few years? How many of us are actually prepared for 24 hours supply of electricity? Are we set for that? If we have 24 hours supply of electricity, what do you plan to do with it? Watch football? Browse the internet? And enjoy your AC. Is that the future we are actually preparing for our children? So, we'll be looking at that as we go on. When we say the future, it doesn't have to be 50 years, 20 years, 10 years. It might just be the next minute. It might just be the next hour. With just a 10 minutes warning, you could save lots of life. You can see that. If it is an hour, you can shut off the electricity, the water, gas, and the rest. And then, if it is a day, what is going to happen? You could see the necessity that we have to know and what we can do if you are well informed. But let's look at why I'm going to talk about education. The first thing is that poverty, as we are having it in Nigeria or in any part of the world, is linked with education. Anywhere the literacy level is very low, there may be poverty in that land. So if we are saying we want the Muslims to be rich in the next few years, the first thing we have to look at is the education. So that's why I'm actually interested in education. And apart from that, what is the statistics now? You can see 43% of adults have low literacy skills. And then out of that, they are the low to the very, very poor. Apart from that, democracy and good governance is also linked to education. without proper education, you can never have anything good as far as democracy. So those are the reasons that why I'm actually interested in talking with or talking about education. Let's look at the poverty level around the world. This is likely going to be Nigeria, am I right? But look at the key. 61% to 80% are poor. 61 to 80% are poor. When we say poor, this is the measure that we are looking at. $1 per day, $2 per day, and then some are even living below this level. So 61 to 80% of Nigerians are living below this level. But you can see the other part of the world. Yeah, you can see. But here, you can see us there. The only thing that can get us out of that field of this color is education. So, and then in that region, what percent in each of the nations are actually poor? You can see our color, the highest. Am I right? What can we do about that? We can ask Dangote to be given each and every one of us 1 million. But the next thing is, what are we going to do with that money? Without knowledge, without education, we just, yeah. So that is why education is so much important. But the first thing is that what is education itself? At this stage, I have to differentiate between education and certification. What we have mostly in Nigeria is certification, not education. So when we say education, we mean it is a form of learning. It's a form of learning. Each knowledge, please look at the keywords there. Knowledge, skills, and habits. Knowledge, skills, and habits. That is different from certification. So what we are looking at here today is Muslims and the future of education, not Muslims and the future of certification. So we are looking at education. In Nigeria or anywhere around the world, yeah, this is the pyramid. This is the type of education we have. One, it can be categorized as age graded, where we have the primary school, secondary school, and tertiary education. We can also group it maybe by the funding type, private, maybe owned by NOSFAT, Redeem, and the rest. Am I right? Or the type of education provided. That's another way we can look. So our Arabic schools and the rest, they are there. But in any type of education around the world, these are the three most important parts of it, which is missing in our own education in Nigeria. One is the academic itself. Yeah. The other one is the administrative part, and the other one is the business and commercialization. In Nigeria, most of our universities, there is nothing to commercialize here. So that means that this area is really missing. And now, Muslims, we are now having our private universities and the rest. How are we going to achieve this? So I will still talk about it. This is the educational setup in Nigeria. Let's call it formal education system. Formal. So, and then this is the history. I won't talk much about that. But what I just want to draw there is the 6334 system of education. I will still address it as we go on. So, we all know this. However, this is the distribution of Nigerian population, 0 to 14. And then if 15 to 64 and then 65 and above. But if you look at the population, yeah, this is the population, this is numbers we have in primary school, post-primary school and higher institutions. This amounts to 41 million. This number is greater than the total population of 3 countries together. Sweden, Malaysia, Singapore, Norway. They are not up to 41 million. So in Nigeria only, the population in the educational sector is something we can do lots of things about. If you want to change the future of the Muslims, then we have to come here. This is where the future lies. You can see our kids. Yes, I will still talk about that. So, however, despite having that population, in 2004, even the National Planning Commission described the educational sector as total dysfunctional. In 2004, total dysfunctional. This is 9 years after. So, what word can I use? If in 2004 it is dysfunctional, in 2013, I know, yeah, maybe it is no longer in existence. Yes, other challenges that is facing the educational sector include poor attitude of the students, the lecturer, inadequate learning materials, low model of teachers, and the rest. But are we really doing something about it? Despite all this one, that it was actually described as dysfunctional in 2004. That is where you and me, we are sending our children. That now leads to the question. Why do we school our youths, graduate them, and then become dependent on a system that doesn't have any job for them? Anybody? Why? Because there is no alternative. One, yes, any other reason? Oh, two. Okay, any other reason? Is poverty of knowledge. We ourselves, we don't know that we are just schooling them, certifying them to be certificated illiterate. Certificated illiterate. That is why when you send your children to our educational system in anywhere, when they are going in, especially to the university, they are very, very smart. They understand what they want to achieve. If you call any kid now, maybe 6, 7, what do you want to be? You say, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an engineer. But let him or her enter university, and you ask him, what do you want to be? I just want to graduate. I just want to graduate. Don't you? Okay. I just want. I'm tired. The guy is no longer thinking. That is why he just wants to graduate. He or she is no longer thinking. Oh, what you want? I just want to graduate. After graduation, what next? He will keep on the system. Working like you and me, waking up at 5, going to office, never coming back until around 10 o'clock. So it's just like a donkey. That is our educational system. That is what we are doing. And apart from that, you will send your kid or your children to school, and you will ask him, what is your score this time? Why those children are not performing? That should be the next question we should ask in our educational system. In our educational system, what we are doing is that it's like you have you have an elephant, monkey, this, and you now say, to be fair to all of you, climb this tree. You will all agree with me that elephant will be as useless as anything. That is what we are doing in our educational system. But we Muslims, are we ready for the change? No. All what we want is keep them. That is why Abiodun says that everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its own life believing that it is stupid. And that is exactly what we are doing to our kids, our children at home and the rest. We are sending them to where they should not go in the first instance. Not only that, you and me, any kid that know how to read, we will send him or her to higher institution. But the one that is maybe knowledge challenge, we will ask him to go and learn any job or trade. And after 4 or 5 years, we will call him, come and help me fix this house. Or come and help me fix this electrical fault. We have forgotten that it is because the guy is deficient in thinking. That is why we send him to that place. And we are now saying that I want to sleep in this house, my AC is not functioning. Come and fix it. That is why your mechanic can never fix your car perfectly. Your electrician will never be able to fix that electrical fault perfectly. Because we are sending the wrong people to the right place. There should be artisans, there should be technicians, there should be engineers. But they should have knowledge. And all in all, another injustice we are doing to our children is this one. Instead of teaching them how to think and this, we are thinking for them. And we are telling them what to think. It is sweet that we collect their CV, hand it over to our mate in the office, please help me find job for my child. For how long? When are you going to relax and be enjoying your food? From the time the child has been conceived, you have been nurturing. When are you going to sit down and say, yes, you can now fend for yourself? Our problem from the day one is we fail to understand the difference between education and certification. We are just certificate-oriented. That is why our parents can never rest. Even after getting the job, mommy, organic problem will be shared. We will continue to call mommy and daddy and the rest. Why? We are never educated, but we are certificated. So the history of education in Nigeria is this. 40, 50, 60 years ago, we know how Ansarudin, Nawaruddin, and the rest, am I right? How they labor so that we can have history. At least for you and me to be able to read and speak English like this. That was the first phase of education in Nigeria. They achieved almost 100% success. And we are all witness to that. After that time, we have the acquiring university education. Our parents here, you labored very well and the rest to enter higher institutions around the country. That phase is gone now. After that, you get back to us. And now, we enter the age of building private institutions. That is why we have private schools, private universities, and the rest. But this is where we are. How are we planning for the future? Do Do we have any future? Who can tell me the distinction between Oxford University and Bell University? Any distinction? No. Just in the name, am I right? You see, what they are teaching them in Oxford, they can teach them better at Ife. Just how to read Arabic and this, am I right? Are we branding our universities? No. Are we branding our university? No. Just everything again. We are not planning for the future, and the future should be one thing: K economy. K economy. K there means knowledge. Are we prepared for that future that is K economy days? Are we prepared? No. You can see, I just used one slide on the history of education. Why? When we keep looking at the back too much, we will never move forward. We will only be saying, it was the Muslims that invented algebra, it was the Muslims that invented chemistry, this and that. We are always proud of that. We are never thinking or asking ourselves, what are we going to do? What are we going to live for the future? So when you can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep reading the last one. We are not saying we should not give honor to the Yani Muslims and the rest, but let's now start planning. What are we going to give to others? What are we leaving behind? So, as I've said, the K economy, which is the future of education, it involves the use of knowledge to create economic benefit. It involves the use of knowledge to create economic benefits, especially in the field of high technology. That's the reason I ask, with 24 hours supply of electricity, what are you planning to do with it? Just to watch football, enjoy the AC, am I right? Don't you know that with 24 hours supply of electricity, things will change? Your kid will no longer ask you for television and the rest. Even look at your mobile phone, smartphones now, things are changing. With 24 hours supply of electricity, things will definitely change. You don't have to think, I need to iron that cloth again, because electricity will always be there. But how prepared are we? Are we really prepared to do something about this? No. How prepared are we for this in the educational sector? With 24 hours supply of electricity, the whole economy will change to K economy, knowledge economy. I showed us Robert some minutes ago, used to serve food in the hotel, everywhere. Those are the things we will be experiencing. But do we have the knowledge or the plan to do that as Muslims? No. And apart from that, with K economy, that is the only time you can eradicate poverty. That is the only time you can eradicate poverty. So, K economy will actually eradicate poverty. The next question is, this is theory. Have you seen it somewhere? Yes. Look at any Scandinavian country. Look at the level of literacy there. And look at the poverty level there. Poverty level is very low. Either Norway, Denmark, Sweden, they are the countries with highest standard of living. So also, the literacy level there is very high. My first time in Sweden, I was trying to look for the natural resources. And I was now asking, you people doesn't have oil, no gold, no this, and you are given the third country in the world with highest standard of living. What is this? Why? Also, you go to Norway. Norway is the first. Nothing. No natural resources. No natural resources. So, natural resources is not what we need to eradicate poverty. It is knowledge. What are the characteristics of knowledge economy that is the future of education? One is that the economy is no longer of scarcity but of abundance. Let's take a typical example. If I ask you for any definition now, that what is the definition of democraticalizationalism? Yes, anybody? Democraticalizationalism. You will have to go and look for books and the rest, am I right? But if you just type that on your Google search, what happened? You have abundance information. You have abundance, am I right? So, the economy under K economy is no longer that of scarcity, but of abundance. That is the future we should be expecting. The effect of location is no longer there. Even some of us that are watching football, in the olden days, there is always what we call home advantage. You can see home advantage is gradually off now. Am I right? So also now, from where we are sitting now, you can look for schools around the world, apply for admission, get lots of information about what is happening around the world. So the issue of location is no longer there. If I ask you that, what is the price of chicken in Turkey? You don't have to go to Turkey in order to find that answer. You can either place a call to a friend in Turkey, or you look on the internet, search. So the effect of location is no longer there. But are we prepared for that in our education? No. Knowledge again is enhanced through product and services under key economy. And then communication is now seen as a fundamental thing, and then to enhance knowledge flow. You cannot just sit down at the corner of the room and say, okay, I'm not concerned about what's happening in other parts of the world. No. Communication is important. And apart from that, this is where I want to address human capital. Human capital is one of the key things under K economy. When we say human capital, we don't mean certificated capital or certificated human being. Those who have the knowledge and the skill and the ability. Those are the things. But are we preparing our children for that? Are we preparing our children for that? What skills or what skill are we giving them? Just ability to read and write and speak English. Though that's not enough for them to face the future. That is why if you want to rest and relax after some time, this is the time you start looking at giving them education, not certification. How many of us do send our kids to go and look at how the mechanics that is fixing our car, how he's doing it? No, we say, Junior, go inside. Am I right? Junior, leave that man alone. Leave that man alone. We have forgotten that when our home mother, when they are cooking and dressed, they say, sit down there. They want us to see how they do all these things. Even when they are going for meetings, they will carry us along. Sit down, just be watching. But nowadays it is, don't go out. Okay? Don't go out. How do we want them to communicate? How do we want them to socialize? Now the life is about, the life is just about, alright? Yeah. That will never give them certain skill. This is the time we have to be looking at how to enrich them with skill. That now leads us to one of the feats in K economy. It is what we call mechatronics. Mechatronics. We are talking about skill, we are talking about knowledge. Mechatronics. What is this thing really about? We have all witnessed industrial revolution. Am I right? Or in the 70s, 80s, we witnessed semiconductor revolution. That was the time we were having TV, black and white, color television, radio sets, and the rest. After that, we are witnessing or going through what is called information revolution, or what some call ICT revolution. The next one, which is going to be K economy based, it is what we call mechatronics revolution. You want to see what is going on in your house from your mobile phone. You want to cook rice at home using your mobile phone. You want to get your car from that place to here without standing up. How do you achieve that? That is under mechatronics. I will still show you some of what we have done. But as Muslims, are we really prepared for that? That's one important thing. But what is mechatronics itself? Mechatronics, you can see, it is not a subject. It is not a technology, but a philosophy. It's a philosophy. A fundamental way of looking at things. That is what they call mechatronics. It's a philosophy, a fundamental way of looking and doing things. And then it involves a lot of definitions, even from some other universities. But you have to understand something. Your skill is important. The software, the hardware, lot of things. Knowledge is important. And then advanced control. So you can see, it involves lot of things. Lot of things. The control circuitry, electronics, and the rest. I know you want to ask me that, but I'm not in science class. I'm not in engineering. How does this one affect me? What you and me, what we are used to is a four-wall classroom. But have you ever heard about learning management system, LMS, open distance learning, and so on? Learning and the rest might not even be within the four walls of university or classrooms again. So also how you teach, what you use to teach. So mechatronics as a program, it actually involves the integration of the courses, laboratories, and the rest for the skill. This one is about the knowledge. This is about the skill. This is about communication. How do you communicate? So all those things are integrated there. So when I say mechatronics, you can see there's what we call intelligent mechatronics. That is, from here now, You want a case that when you get home, you just want your food prepared, served already. Then how do you control your system that, okay, go and get 2 cups of rice, 1 cup of white beans, and ripe plantain. You are not talking to houseboy, please, or house help, but you are talking to a machine, or you are controlling something to do that.